We have to count the days, day by day, from Pesach, the second day of Pesach, until Shavuot, 49 days. The second day of Pesach is the day that we bring the Omer sacrifice. And the 50th day, which we don't count, we count 49 days, but the 50th day is the day that is called Shavuot. Now the interesting thing, there are many interesting halachot related to this counting, but one of them is that even in the Gemara Menachot Samach Zayin Amud Aleph, the Gemara says, Mitzvah lemimnei yomei umitzvah lemimnei shavu'ei. Now this would seem to be a kind of simple, straightforward directive. You have to count days and you have to count weeks. But it turns out that it's not quite as simple or as clear as we might imagine. Do we count days in between the weeks? For example, do we count day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I mean, those are days, certainly. But when we get to the 7th day, it's enough to say it's a week. And then the 8th day would then be the 8th day, the 9th day, the 10th day. And we get to the 14th day, we would call it 2 weeks. So that we would, in fact, be counting days and weeks because we wanted to count every single day. We don't count that way. The way we count is we list the number of days that have passed, and then we translate it into another kind of numerical formulation, weeks and days. So on the 10th day of Sefirat HaOmer, for example, we say today is the 10th day. That's the first thing we say. And there we're finished. I mean, we've counted the day. And then we say that the 10th day can also be stated as being 1 week and 3 days. So in that way, the way we count the Omer, we have accomplished the directive of the Gemara. The directive of Gemara is count the days and count the weeks. When do you count the days? When do you count the weeks? Every single day. But of course, the fact that we don't know exactly how to count, or we're not sure exactly what the Gemara wants us to do, leads us to think that perhaps if you made a mistake, and let's say on the 14th day you counted 2 weeks. Today, it's 2 weeks to the owner. By mistake, you weren't looking at your Sidur, which is always a good idea and something reasonable to do. You counted incorrectly. Did you do what you have to do de facto or not? So many poskim say that if you counted 2 weeks on the 14th day of the Omer, that is sufficient. 2 weeks, sufficient, b'di'eved, de facto, on the 14th day of the Omer. This is important to remember, and in order to avoid making a mistake, our minhag is that we count the Omer in public, usually after we have daven Mariv in shul, and somebody, the Chazan or somebody else, counts the Omer loudly in order that everybody should hear, and then we count the Omer again following his lead. Women or men who are not able to be in shul on that particular day, or women who don't usually go to shul to daven Ma'ariv, have to make sure or should try to count from a text that indicates the proper way to say Sefirat HaOmer lechatchila a priori. These texts exist in endless forms, and we should take the trouble to make sure that he has a text of this kind at home, which keeps you following the daily obligation. Otherwise, every Siddur, as you know, contains the text for Sefirat HaOmer.